You're on record.
All right. The meeting of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills Planning Board for Monday, February 3rd, 2025 at 7:30 PM. Announcement is made that adequate notice of this meeting has been given, and that it is being conducted in accordance with NJSA 10:4-6 at sec of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Nora, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Didich?
Here.
Mr. DiPiero?
Here.
Councilwoman Hernandez? Here. Mr. Mealy?
Here.
Mr. Math?
Present.
Mr. Napolitano?
Here.
Ms. Smith? Here. Mr. Stanzio?
Here.
Chairman Dinsmore?
Here.
We also have our board planner, Ms. Winter, our board engineer, Mr. Canjiano, and our board attorney, Ms. Steinley.
Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our first item is to swear in two of our people who were reappointed this year, Mr. Napolitano.
Yep.
And who else was?
Ms. Smith,
Ms. Smith, oh yes, of course.
could you please stand up? And you can repeat after me and raise your right hand. I state your name,
I, Jennifer Smith,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
and that I will bear
true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Planning Board Class
Planning Board Class 4.
Planning Board
Four.
Class 3.
Class 2 for Ms. Smith.
Oh, 2, I'm sorry, oh my gosh.
That's all right.
Class 4.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome back, thank you very much.
Appreciate
All right. This meeting is open to the general public. Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak to us tonight on a project, something that is not on our agenda tonight? Hearing and seeing none. We move on into our agenda. The first item on the agenda is a resolution. Has everybody had a chance to look at the resolution for application number 24:530, Anand and Rupal Shah, 14 Puddingstone Road, Block 8, 3 Zone R1 Major Soil Moving Permit. Is anybody willing to move the resolution? Mr. Neely?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that application as you read it.
Do I have a second?
Second, DePiero.
Didich?
Yes.
DiPiero?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Math?
Yes.
Shaw's not here. Stanzio?
Yes.
Dinsmore?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right, now we move on to our agenda. We have application number 24:532, Damodar Mahayan, 470 Troy Road, Block 733, Spot 01, Lot 15, Spot 02, Zone R2, Major Soil Moving Permit.
Hi, good evening.
Yes.
Hello. If you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, please state your name, spell your last name, and provide your address for the record.
Damodar Mahajan, Mahajan. My address is 53 Carlton Drive, Parsippany, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Well, tell us why you're here tonight.
Okay, good evening. Members of the Parsippany Planning Board. The applicant, proposed to move 542 cubic yards of soil as part of a proposed single-family home on 470 Troy Road in Parsippany. I actually, as a bit of history, back in May 17th of 2017, I went to the Board of Adjustments and received approval to build a similar home, slightly larger, which was approved and a resolution was entered. But here I am, it's many years later, finally excited to move forward with this with your permission. The Township of Parsippany Engineering Office has no objection to my application per their memo to this board dated December 6th, 2024. I will comply with all of the requests in their memo. And with respect to the, I could go ahead and get into the number of truckloads, how many days, and further details with your permission.
We would like to hear that.
Okay, excellent. So with respect to the number of truckloads that we estimate, and this is all based on consultation with my conversations with my engineer, Adam Kandil of Daytal Engineering, located in Mountain Lakes, New Jersey. The number of truckloads is approximately 28. So it's essentially 543 divided by roughly 20 or so of soil that needs to be removed. Number one. Number two, how many days will the trucks move the soil? Approximately 2 days with a maximum of 15 truckloads per day. Where will the soil be taken from? The soil will come from the excavation of the house foundation. The house footprint is approximately 2,800 square feet. All material not used for backfill will be hauled off-site. With respect to the route of the trucks, fortunately, there are many major highways very close to the job site. Route 80 and Route 46 are a mile or less, and Route 10 is about 2 to 3 miles away. The shortest distance will be utilized and taken based on discussions with my site work contractor. What time will the trucks come and go? We want to be sensitive and aware of school buses and children, and also of the morning and evening rush hour. So we'll plan to do this between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 2 o'clock p.m. as to be respectful and sensitive of those. And those are kind of the main points that I have.
Andrew, do you have any?
Excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir. Kind of nervous, but thank you.
You hit everything that I would have asked, and then you did comment on the township engineer's letter. You will comply. There is a tree removal permit that's required.
Yes, sir.
Soil sediment control from the county that's required. So it sounds like you're on top of these items, and all those items will have to be shown to the township engineer before he'll give you his approval.
Absolutely, sir. I'll be sure to comply with all the items enumerated in the memo to the planning board from the engineering office.
That's all I have, Chairman.
Any members of the board have any questions on this testimony at this time? Hearing and seeing none. And any members of the public have any questions of this witness on this testimony at this time? Hearing and seeing none. Do you have anything further to add?
No, thank you very much for your valuable time.
Any members have any thoughts or questions at the moment? Then this closes the evidentiary portion of tonight's hearing. Do I have somebody willing to make a resolution?
Mr. Chairman, a motion to approve application number 24:532, Damodar Mahajan, 470 Troy Road, Block 733.01, Lot 15.02, Zone R2, Major Soil Moving Permit.
Do I have a second?
Second. Napolitano?
Thank you, Mr. Napolitano. Nora, would you call the roll, please?
Didich.
Yes.
DePiero.
Yes.
Hernandez. Yes. Mealy.
Yes.
Neff.
Yes.
Napolitano.
Yes.
Smith. Yes. Sandial.
Yes.
Dinsmore.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Very much
Good luck.
appreciated. Thank you.
All right, this moves us to the last item on tonight's agenda. Application number 24:528, B10 Hilton Court, owner LLC 2 Hilton Court, Block 202, Lot 3, Spot 10, minor site plan to modify building height, removal of drive ramp, relocation of parking spaces, and setback improvement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Paper broke?
No, it comes with it.
I'm Stephen Tombolaka, I'm legal broker from Parsippany, on behalf of the applicant B10 Hilton Court Owner LLC. This application should be quite familiar to the board. The board has entertained site plan applications for this site twice previously in the last 3 years, most recently less than a year ago for an amendment. We're here again this evening because the property is under new ownership. Onyx Equities sold the property to the new owner, and the new owner, you know, is in the process of constructing it. If you've driven by the site, you've noticed it's been completely demolished and grading is underway. But the new owner has certain preferences as to the style, location of offices within the warehouse. You're going to hear about that, but it's just little nips and tucks, purely preferential on behalf of the new owner, which they think is going to make it a better product for the warehouse market. So we brought the whole team here tonight because just in the, you know, Murphy's Law, if we didn't bring everybody, we'd need them. But tonight you're primarily here from Louis Reyes, the professional engineer, who you heard last time, early, I guess the spring of 2024, when this application was being amended once before. We also have an owner's representative here, we have a traffic engineer, we have our architect, we also have a professional planner. In case any issues arise, we have the firepower and knowledge here to address anything. But I do think it's worthwhile for the board to hear from Mr. Reyes exactly what's changing about this site. Which is again why we're here today for site plan amendment. So without further ado, I'd like to have Mr. Reyes sworn.
Do waivers real quick?
Yeah,
We'll just go through the.
there's a couple of waivers that are
couple of
required.
waivers. We have on Form 516 for the existing and proposed signs. The environmental assessment study, submission of site photographs, and the combined preliminary and final being separate sheets, and again, for the signs. And that's all, and we don't have any objection. I don't think, and I'm sure the testimony will show that, none of the changes proposed affect any of those conditions.
All right, we have a motion to approve the waivers as outlined in the planner's memo.
Motion, Matt.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Thank you very much. Again, Mr. Reyes, we have sworn.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please state your name, spell your last name, and provide your address for the record.
Yeah, my first name is Louis, that's L-U-I-S. My last name is Reyes, that's R-E-Y-E-S.
Is that microphone on?
No, I don't think so.
It was on, is the orange light lit up on it?
On the top.
Look at the, don't flick the thing, okay? Press the button at the bottom.
I guess just speak closer to the microphone, please, just, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
No.
No?
So just your address, and then provide the board with your qualifications, which we've already heard, but just as a reminder.
Yeah, I live in 78 Glacier, Clifton, New Jersey. I am the civil engineer for the project. I've worked in civil engineering for about 10 years. I've worked on numerous projects across New Jersey. I have my bachelor's of science in civil engineering from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey, and I previously testified in New Jersey as an expert witness. I'm also a civil engineer who testified for the last hearing for this application.
And your license is remaining the same?
Yeah.
We'd ask that the board recognize him again as an expert in civil engineering.
Anybody have any questions on those qualifications? Hearing and seeing
Can you
none.
grab the other microphone so you have one as well? It's sitting right,
This-
yeah. They're already all on. Is the orange light on? Yeah.
Sounds like it's on.
That's the orange light.
Okay. All right. Mr. Reyes, since you've been intimately involved with this project, it's pretty much your design. Can you give the board an overview of what this project is? What they approved previously twice, and then what we're nipping and tucking about it per the new owner's preferences?
Yeah. So, just to give a brief overview of the property where the project will take place is approximately 10.4 acres in size. It's identified as Block 202, Lot 3.10. The address is 204, Parsippany, New Jersey. It's situated in the Specialized Economic Development District 10 zone. The property is bordered by Hilton Court to the north, the highway Route 10 to the southwest, a Route 10 access ramp, and Dryden Way to the south and southeast, and an adjacent commercial lot to the north. You've all received two versions of the site plan rendering. At the bottom left corner, you'll be able to tell which one is which.
And those, if those weren't submitted, let's mark that package handed out as A1. You want to mark them separately or together?
I'll mark the previous application site plan rendering as A1, and I'll mark the new application site plan rendering as A2.
Okay, thank you.
Again, the bottom left corner indicates which version of the site plan rendering it is. It notes previously approved application, that was the one that was approved. There was a resolution that passed for this previous application in May 2024. And then next, the one nearest to me is the new application. So I'm going to go through a list of site plan features that have changed or remained the same from the previously approved application. The project entails the construction of a 122,664 square foot proposed warehouse with a total office area of 12,300 square feet. This is consistent with the previously approved application. The proposed building will also remain in the same location. In the approved application, the warehouse had two offices that were 6,150 square feet each, located in the south center and in the southeast center, where the main office entrances are located. They're noted as red on the site plan rendering. In the new application, we're maintaining the same total office area, but we're merging the two offices into a single office area with the main entrance now located at the northeast corner of the building. This reconfiguration slightly improves the front yard setback from Dryden Way at the southeast corner of the building as the office canopy in that area has been removed. The building height has been reduced from 44.7 feet in the old application to approximately 40.8 feet in the new application. Loading docks will remain in the north side. The approved application included 25 loading docks and 2 driving ramps. The new site plan maintains 25 loading docks but reduces the driving ramps to 1. This adjustment allows for a landscaped island adjacent to the remaining driving ramp, creating a smoother transition from the finished floor elevation of the building to the loading dock area, which is 4 feet low, and eliminates the need for a transition wall between the ramp and the loading dock area. The width of the loading dock striping and driving ramp had minor revisions to match the latest architectural plans. The new application is keeping the same number of car parking spaces on the east and south side of the building with the same number of ADA and make-ready EV spaces as previously approved. The ADA and make-ready EV spaces have been relocated in the new application to be near the new main office entrance in the northeast corner of the building. The parking lot, just so this may be a question that comes up, the old one, and just to get in front of this question, the old one shows 7 car parking spaces in this radius, and then the new one shows 7 land bank spaces. Just to be clear, the seven parking lot spaces will be maintained as 7 land bank car parking spaces. This was requested by the Highlands Council and approved by the township in the previous applications and resolutions. It's not new to this application. The required number of car parking and how the required number was calculated will remain the same as approved. 11 trailer stalls on the west side of the building, and the site circulation for cars, trucks, and emergency vehicles all remain unchanged from the previous application. The fire department has approved the new application. There is a monument sign north of the property near the truck court entrance, which remains consistent with the prior approval. No new signage is being requested at this time. The retaining walls for the project will remain in the same location and the maximum height as approved. Jumping into grading in the major soil moving permit, Justin Liza, the township engineer, was okay with us using the approved major soil moving permit for the new application as long as we provided testimony on any new change in the volume of soil to be moved. The building's finished floor elevation and the 4-foot differential from the loading dock area to the finished floor elevation remain unchanged from the approved application. The grading is nearly identical to the approved application with minor adjustments to ensure the new location of the proposed ADA stalls comply with ADA standards. These slight grading modifications will not affect the volume of soil to be moved for the project, and the new application will be covered in the approved major soil moving permit. I'm going to jump into utilities. The proposed building will have 2 water connections at the adjacent streets. The existing water service connection to Dragon Way remains unchanged from the previously approved application. The applicant's team held a meeting with the Township Water Department in December 2024 to review the latest utility plan to discuss upsizing the existing water service connection at Hilton Court for the proposed building. We received positive feedback from the Water Department, and SESI has revised the plan based on the meeting and submitted it back to the Water Department. Sanitary will continue to connect to the existing sanitary system at the north portion of the property, which remains unchanged from the approved application. The new application has been approved by the Township Sewer Department. Proposed electric, telecom, and gas will connect to the existing utility infrastructure at Hilton Court, which remains unchanged from the approved application. Landscaping and lighting remain identical to the previously approved application. The new application has been approved by the Township Parks and Forestry Department. Stormwater remains identical and will be collected, treated, and detained by proposed bioretention basins and pervious pavement system, which is consistent with the approved application. The new application will have a 4-foot high chain link fence with gates that will be installed around the bioretention basin for safety reasons. And to finish off in conclusion, I just want to let you guys know about outside agencies. As for outside agency approval, this new application has been approved by the county, Morris County Soil Conservation District, the Highlands, and NJDEP, which have all been submitted recently to the township.
Well, Louis, can you give the board an overview as to, if they were to drive out to Hilton Court now by driving, what's happening at the site right now, and what's the plan going forward, so at least the board has an idea of what the sequence is?
Yeah, so as you know, we've been previously approved under the old application, so my client has proceeded forward to demo the building. So right now, the building is demoed, the site is relatively level, and soil erosion sediment control measures have been placed. So right now, we are starting construction.
So Louis, getting into the board's, there's a whole bunch of reports. Board planner wrote a report, board engineer wrote a few reports. Is there anything in those memos or reports that the applicant cannot comply with, will not comply with, or is everything hunky-dory?
Everything should be squared away. We haven't received a latest letter from GPI, but I'm sure we can work it out with GPI. Their comments were relatively minor the last time.
And if Mr. Caggiano or his associate has any requests, you'll work with them and comply with it?
That is correct.
Again, Chairman, we have a whole bunch of people in the architect traffic, just because, they're going full bore on this, so we wanted to make sure that if the board had any questions on any of the specialties, we'd be able to answer them back. Pretty much that's it. The one variance we're asking for is less intense than the variance that was approved last time around. We have Matt Flynn from John McDonough's office provide planning testimony if the board requests it. I don't want to waste the board's time. Need it.
Well, I'm going to start by turning to Mr. Canjiano and ask him if.
Yeah,
indeed-
this application, as they testified, is an amended, request amended approval from last year's application. And if anyone has any questions on exactly what they're changing, he went over it, but it goes down, it whittles down to the slight adjustments to the loading docks and change in location of the office entry door. They submitted once in November. We had a couple minor comments. They submitted again in December. We had a couple minor comments. One was about setback at the Dryden Way front yard. That wasn't calculated correctly. You just resubmitted last week or the week before. We issued a letter Friday on the 31st. I don't know if you received that. And they addressed our main comment, which was the front yard setback distance, and they recalculated it correctly, and it's 2/10 greater than what was previously approved, or a wider front yard setback, so it's in compliance with the requirement. We have no more comments. I think our last letter of Friday, you'll like it, that it was generally, you addressed all our comments generally. I don't have the letter right, but it was issued Friday, the 31st, and you just testified you'll address any remaining comments. That's gonna be fine.
Any questions by members of the board?
Just one. Thank you for that. Just remind us about the emergency exits. Are they chained up? I forgot. I'm looking on here, but it says bollard with chain. That's all the time?
They're bollard with chains, same as approved. That hasn't changed. Yep.
And it's chained up all day long?
Yes.
Okay.
And solely on chain when a fire truck has to come by.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith, you had a,
Yes, I just wanted to know in the permit that I issued, there were 2 retaining walls, maximum height 4.89 feet. Did that change, or is that exactly the same?
Maximum height is still the same.
And it's still 2 retaining walls?
Correct.
Perfect, thank you.
other members of the board have any questions on this testimony at this time?
Yeah, quick question. Any reason for reducing the height? I'm just curious. Is that based on the usage or?
Honestly, my client's team looked at it and they felt like from a feasibility and maybe cost saving standpoint, that they wanted to reduce the height.
Okay, but not based on anything usage or the tenant or?
I mean, it could have been a tenant requirement, but, to me, it might have been a cost saving or a tenant.
Okay, right, thank you.
All right, anybody else?
I had one question. The fencing around the retention basins, is that new?
That's new.
And that'll comply with the township height for fencing in
Yeah.
a front yard technically?
Yeah, it's a maximum of 4.
Okay.
It's, the answer is yes, we will make it comply with the
Okay.
township ordinance.
And just to be clear for the record, the front yard setback that Mr. Canjiano was referring to, what exactly is the front yard setback, since it's the only variance, or new variance change?
Previously, it was 120.92, now it's 120.94. So 0.02 increase,
Okay, so it actually increased from the last one.
meaning we're setback for.
Oh, yeah, yes,
We
got it,
We made it better.
understood. It took a minute, sorry.
Any other questions by members or professionals? Hearing and seeing none. Any members of the public have any questions? Hearing and seeing none. Since there is a variance, we would love to have a little bit of planning testimony.
That Flynn is come on out.
At .04, .02.
He's on that Flynn, he was sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, and please state your name, spell your last name, and provide your business address for the record.
Yeah, okay. Matthew Flynn, Flynn, business address is 101 Gibraltar Drive, Morris Plains, New Jersey.
Now, Matthew, the board has previously qualified you as an expert, as a professional engineer. Has there anything changed since the last time you testified regarding your licensure or any of your qualifications?
They have not.
Okay, great. So we've asked that Mr. Flynn be recognized as an expert professional planner.
Anybody have any questions on the qualifications? Hearing and seeing none?
What I'm passing out is Mr. Flynn's planning package, which we've asked marked as A3.
And for the record, Exhibit A3 is going to be a 4-page exhibit consisting of an aerial shot as well as some drone photos taken by my office.
Great, thanks. Now, Matt, you heard all the testimony from Mr. Reyes. You're familiar with the project. You participated in the prior iterations. Can you give the board the benefit of your planning testimony?
Sure, so I will be brief. Like was mentioned by our engineer here, this is an amended site plan application. We're not here starting from scratch. We're here working with a previously approved application. So having said that, all the really foundational questions that come with zoning and planning applications in terms of safety, aesthetics, functionality, circulation, all of that has really been addressed at this point and really has not changed, except to the extent that has already been testified to. So really here, we're only seeking that one modified C variance, which is the front setback variance, which is, like was mentioned, an improvement over the existing conditions. I won't go through the amendments again, since our engineers did a good job at going through those. But just for the record, I do have this exhibit that was just passed out for the board's point of reference here. I'll just go through it briefly. Page 1 is a simple aerial photograph showing the property highlighted in yellow here. It's an existing vacant property. The most recent site improvements have been demolished at this point. It's a pretty large property standing at approximately 10 acres. And we get a sense of what's around us here. Obviously the Hilton, some offices, and our best friends, the IRS, down at 10 then. Just flipping over to sheet 2, again, now we have the 10 in the front of the page here. And like I said, we have the vacant site conditions. This is a pretty visible property, again, it's a 10-acre property. So by upgrading this with a permitted use that's already been approved, we think it's going to be to the benefit of not only the applicant, of course, but the town and the streetscape of Route 10 as well. Just going through sheet 3 is again just the same view, just now Route 10 you see on the left of the page there. I'll let the board flip through page 4, again, now we have a off in the background. And so that's that exhibit, basically to tie all that into the statutory criteria. Again, this is a C variance, we're in the SED 10 zone, we're talking about a permitted use. Really the site plan was, like I said, already approved. And really what we have here is something that I think satisfies the C2 balancing test. The benefits of the application as a whole substantially outweigh any detriments. All the project benefits that were put forth at the last hearing carry forth today. Really, these are pretty minor amendments to the plan. So all those benefits in terms of getting a permitted use here, we talked about the footprint of the building, we get adequate light, air, open space. If you look on page 1, we can see that off-ramp of Route 10 provides a buffer across Dryden Way there. We saw the highly aesthetic building last time. Again, it's going to be actually decreased in terms of massing by decreasing that building height. And again, bringing an underutilized commercial land back into functional use, productive use that's in keeping with the intent of the zone. So all of that goes towards the purposes of zoning from the municipal land use law. Again, all of that was testified to at the last hearing. The flip side to that is the negative criteria in terms of zoning compliance. This is a substantially compliant application in terms of lot size, lot coverage, building height, building coverage, most of the setbacks, the parking, and I would say that really the intent behind that one variance we're seeking, the setback, is having adequate light, air, open space. But again, the footprint of the building is pretty much exactly where it was at the last application, so I think that's been well vetted at this point. So really, in conclusion, I would say this is an appropriate amendment. It's in keeping with the prior approval. And of course, really keeping this this land back into functional use in keeping with the demand and the needs of the current tenant. So with that, I promise to be brief, so if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Christine, do you have any?
No, it is truly a minor change to the variance, even
Figured
more
out.
minor than, had previously been figured out, so you hit all the points.
Do you have any?
Nope, I have nothing.
Any members of the board have questions on this testimony at this time?
Just an observation. You guys like that drone. We get lots of drone pictures from you.
Yep. We're not the ones in the news, I don't think.
I was about to ask you that.
You do it during the day.
We're going out there during the day.
Yep. Any other members of the board? Hearing and seeing none. Are there any members of the public who have any questions of this testimony at this time? Hearing and seeing none. Is there any other testimony that any members of the board feel we should have on this case, or have we heard enough?
Out of curiosity, so each of the ramps, there's 25 of them, are reduced by 1 foot, half a foot. That doesn't affect any of the trailers that are going in and out. I should have asked that before.
Lewis is still here?
Yeah, sorry, Louis.
Fine. Yeah, so
Sure.
that was one of my points.
Microphone.
Yeah, that was one of my points. We revised it to match the latest architectural floor plan. So the trailer stalls are fine. They're going to stay the same size. You are correct. The loading dock striping width was reduced by half a foot. So it used to be 13 and a half, now it's 13. Yeah, it's a minor change.
Thank you.
Any other members of the board? Hearing and seeing none. Are there any members of the public who have any questions on this witness, this testimony? Hearing and seeing none. Do you have anything further?
No, Chairman, just to thank the planning board for all the time. This is the third time we've been looking at
Sure.
the same iteration, and the new owner is eagerly proceeding with it, and we thank the board for all the time and effort, and the board's consultants and professionals. A lot of effort was put in, a lot of thought was put into this project, so we hope that when it's done, the town will be really proud of it.
Are there any members of the public who have any questions or comments on this application? Hearing and seeing none. This closes the evidentiary portion of tonight's hearing. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Didich,
I move a motion to approve application number 24:528 B10, Hilton Court owner, LLC, 2 Hilton Court, Block 202, Lot 3.10, minor site plan to modify building height, removal of drive ramp, relocation of parking spaces, and setback improvement.
subject to?
Any conditions?
The conditions were to comply with the township and board professional reports and work with the professionals to achieve compliance, to comply with the township ordinance regarding fence height around the basins, and you're permitted to the revised front yard setback of 120.94.
Second, Mealy.
Second, Mealy. Nora, would you call the roll, please?
Didich?
Yes.
DePiero?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Neff?
Yes.
Napolitano?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Stanzio?
Yes.
Dinsmore?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Great seeing you.
Is there anything else to come before the board tonight? Hearing and seeing none. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you all.
One of our quickest.
I had hopes, but I didn't dare say it.
Yes. That is the rule.
We're trying.
Never.
Well, we had one on the Board of Adjustment that you walked in and figured it was going to be done in half an hour. We left
So
after.
when we're doing our training, the employees,
We ended up with
it's
a whole
naturally,
bunch of
so hopefully,
stuck in
and
the
it's
quiet,
trying to get rid of that.
and then all of a sudden they were.
I don't think it's-
Yeah, I think